Once upon a time, I came here to Berlin. That was in 2002. That was my first time. Directly from Cuba, we can say. I don't going to say that Berlin was like love in the first sight, but that what I'm going to say is that Berlin was like, I saw the like, this present, that present that I was living in 2002 in Berlin, maybe it was the future of Cuba. So it's very weird because I had like deja vu, that feeling that I was here. The only thing really was the culture, the East Germany. So it was there, and very familiar for me. So I came back to Cuba, and then I came back to the Berlinale that time. And in 2004, 2005, university from US invited me to show my films in US. Then I was living in Singapore. And in 2015, I came back again to Berlin. And I realized that my thought about my films about the Cuban community in Berlin was there, and what I have been doing, no film at all. So I started to make what I wanted. So film about the Cuban community in Berlin. So I started with one, Cuban at the Age of the Berlin Wall. That was in 2016. I have the poster here, but I don't know how to move this. I am a Mac guy, window. So I did. I have been doing like 8 documentaries about the Cubans community in Berlin. I have been like writing short stories. So right now I feel we are so small community. We are around 8,000. So Berlin have like 3.8 million. So we are nothing compared to the whole population here. But there are some background history that I want to show. So I would like to show you a film, a documentary film, about Justo Perez. He came at the time of the DDR, East Germany, to study classical music. He was, I say he was because he died in 2017. So he saw the film, he was very happy, so I fixed now because he died, so it's the new version that I have. But this is one example that what I have been doing in this moment. Okay, so I don't want to talk more. This is 30 minutes, and let's watch a film. Maybe you like it. Okay.
There's a question. Are you going to play the movie?
Sometimes they like to say what you, or maybe the guy behind the camera want to hear. But in this case, because I am here, I was looking for something more honest, some more, so I was looking for the truth. But it's painful for me. It was not easy to make this film. You can say this is the first time that I am a bit against the guy in the way they were thinking about the musician and this kind of thing. But I totally respect him, and I totally love him. So even that this documentary for the Cuban scene community, they were so mad at him because I say that, and he was thinking because he was in this position of classical music. I was looking for some more honest. So I stopped to, I didn't continue with the others because that matters for me. So I was looking for a real character from the camera. I don't know if I answered you.
Yeah, and actually I have a second question, but I can ask you later after.
Yes.
Yeah.
Talking about this honesty or this truth that comes out, I really like actually some of the messages you try to convey. And my question, I have two questions actually. One is related to the fall of the Berlin Wall, because you're giving also a message that is not that well conveyed, at least so far.
Yeah.
Because people talk about, yes, that was a symbol, it created unity and hope, and you were exactly picturing the contrary. I mean, he's saying that some of the musicians had problems in the end to find.
Yes.
So
It was horrible. Yes.
I'm really interested to know a little bit more about this. And then the end, when he says that no avanza, no, things don't develop.
Mhm.
Do you think, I mean, that was because he perceived that, I don't know, there were some prejudgments on music, Cuban music, or something like this?
Okay,
Is this the next sentence of his,
Okay, remind me the
of
last
his
question.
message?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, look, that collage that you see took me a lot of time to do. It's only maybe 2 months. To research, to asking, to read, to watch, to looking for. This is funny because I have many German journalists. So I asked them a very specific question. Do you remember that period, the time, how it was? And they say, no, not really. So that was like, what's going on? That's so important in the 90s to 2000, how you forget. So, and at some point, because it was very painful. So I contacted people that, Germans, historians, journalists who have been writing books about that, and people who live in London. And they showed me, so I was reading about that. I didn't know about the blacklist, the professors, teachers, and problems. Then, after the war, it was allowed to work anymore. Some people say for me it was like reunification, but the point is, I hear a lot of people say, no, that was occupation. So the people from the east side, they're still thinking that way. Germans from the east side still thinking that way. And it's very interesting, look what's going on right now. This is the field. And they say occupation, reunification, or revolution. And so there are still a lot of questions that need to be answered by Germans. Yeah, so was a lot of time I was working, doing that. And what is the second?
The second question was related to the fact that he said no avanza, so his career couldn't develop.
Yeah, that's
Maybe
that's
in relation to what
yeah. Look,
Japanese do,
this is the so far I say portrait number 4, and I asked the same question to the others. Well, at least one day is only I show Sebastian had documented, but I did the same question. And so what is this situation with the Cuban music here? So the Germans, they love the Cuban music, but we don't have something very strong, that you can. And I was talking with, I tried to remember your name, Sally, and asked to Sally, you. I was talking with you, and he's more in the art, field. And for me, it's the same like with the other here in Berlin. For me, it's like what I say. For me, Berlin is like hospital. You live in New York, Berlin is very relaxing. It's like I feel like Superman here, like so fast, like doing many things. But at the same time, you can do many things here. So, but the impact that you can have is not the same. You do it the same in New York or London or Paris. I don't know. Maybe this is not the place this is the place I think for Germans, for the outsider. The outsider, you can find that it's very easily in New York or another place, but not for the outsider. But that is all the feeling that they say, look, we tried. We have been trying, and I was thinking maybe maybe this because we are so easygoing, we have no the children here don't follow the discipline. They want to break the rule all the time. They don't care about the structure, how this is so important for Germans. But I think it's more than that. I think it's not the feeling that you can have in New York. Nobody going to ask you from where are you. I don't care. People, oh, you make it. That's good. So, but here's like you need to, the word integration and this kind of thing is so important. Okay.
I agree with you. I know a lot of German musicians that have the same problem that Isto had in the film.
Yes.
I think it's got something more, like you say, to do with society necessarily than with the musicians themselves, and they're doing nothing wrong or anything like that. But did you ever ask Isto if he had gone back again to Cuba and made his career there, what he thought would have happened, or what do you think would have happened to him? Would he have had a different career in the later part of his life if he'd gone back to Cuba?
Look, how many Cubans live outside of Cuba? We are maybe 3 million, around 3 million. The people don't want to come back to Cuba to live there because of the political and economic situation. So he was living here in Germany, that at least is one place that you have a very stable life all the time. So, but you prefer to have a very stable life and go to Cuba and try to start over again when you are a certain age. It's not going to happen. He had a family, a son here in Germany. So yeah, that was a question. I never asked because I knew the answer already. So it's are you crazy or what?
Okay, thank you very much for this.
Okay,
Unfortunately, we have to move on with our program, but we can maybe talk to the
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for your attention.